The U.S. Congress has made an unprecedented decision regarding the U.S. and Israel's war against Iran for the first time in recent months. The U.S. Senate, by a majority vote, supported the consideration of a resolution that could force Donald Trump to end the war against Iran, since all of the U.S. president's war powers have long since expired. And what's notable here is that several Republicans joined the Democrats in advancing this resolution, which the Republican Party had actually been blocking for several months. But what is behind this resolution, and can it really force Donald Trump to either ask Congress for permission to continue the war or to stop this war completely? So let's figure this out together. My name is Alexi Peachy. Let's discuss this topic together. But before we start, I ask you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, leave any comment, and friends, subscribe to my Telegram channel Peachy News. The link is in the description of this video. Also, in the video description, there's a link to my exclusively Ukrainian language YouTube channel, so if you want to watch my separate videos in Ukrainian, be sure to check it out and subscribe. And support the brand new, exclusively Ukrainian language YouTube channel. So, the day before, something incredible happened in the US Senate for the current government. The Senate agreed to consider a bill that would require President Donald Trump to end the war in Iran or obtain Congress's approval to continue it. The point is that the Democrats had tried to push such a resolution 7 times already, and all 7 times the Republicans blocked it. They simply blocked it, meaning they didn't even allow it to be put to a vote. But the resolution finally makes it to the Senate floor after several Republicans joined the Democrats in advancing the resolution that the Republicans had been blocking for several months. Senator Bill Cassidy, a Republican from Louisiana who lost the primaries this past weekend after Trump basically made it his goal to ensure Cassidy's defeat, became the last member of his party, and he changed his position and sided with the Democrats in an attempt to limit the president's war powers. Of course, Cassidy has a personal grudge against Donald Trump, since basically Trump pushed him to lose in the primaries. And this, combined with the absence of several other Republicans on the day of the vote, turned out to be enough to move the resolution forward. The vote ended with a score of 50-47 in favor of adopting the resolution, which will allow it to be discussed and brought to a vote in the coming weeks. This was the 8th attempt by the Democrats and 1 Republican to limit Donald Trump's war powers, since he launched a military campaign that has been ongoing for 3 months now, and which, according to most Americans, he shouldn't have started at all. And when I say that most Americans believe that this war shouldn't have been started at all, that's not something I'm making up. Those are the results of polls. We'll get to that a bit later. Senator John Fetterman from Pennsylvania was once again the only Democrat who voted with the Republicans against the bill, while Cassidy was one of 4 Republicans who supported the Democrats and helped move the bill forward. After the vote, Cassidy stated that the Trump administration, quote, left Congress in the dark regarding Operation Epic Fury, and now let's give Cassidy's quote verbatim, Cassidy. In Louisiana, I have heard from people about their concerns regarding the war, including from supporters of President Trump who are worried about this war. Until the administration provides clarity, no congressional authorization or extension can be justified. Well, by the way, Trump has already made up his mind and was quick to respond to people like Cassidy and those who, for some reason, are dissatisfied with the war against Iran. US President Donald Trump stated that Americans do not support the war in Iran simply because they just don't understand what it's being fought for in the first place. Next, I'll quote Donald Trump. They tell me that the war is very unpopular. But I think this war is actually very popular because we're fighting to make sure Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons that they could use to destroy, for example, Los Angeles. If we explained all this to people, but I don't have time to explain it because I'm actually running this war, it doesn't matter to me whether this war is popular or not, because the US has to do it. I would note that last week, Republican skepticism about President Trump's actions regarding the Iran conflict increased, partly because Trump ignored the legally established deadline to obtain congressional authorization to continue military action after 60 days. In both the House of Representatives and the Senate, attempts to pass a war powers resolution were narrowly rejected, although dissatisfaction was growing. In the end, on Tuesday, Senators Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins from Maine both rejected the Trump administration's claim that the fragile truce between the U.S. and Iran extended the 60-day deadline. Joined Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky, who opposed foreign military intervention and voted with the Democrats to bring the bill to the Senate floor. But I should note right away that it's still unclear when the Senate will be able to vote on adopting the War Powers Resolution, which, even if approved by both chambers of Congress, will still be subject to, well, an almost inevitable presidential veto. In the absence of 3 Republican senators, Tommy Tuberville, Tom Tillis, and John Cornyn, the majority was unable to reject this resolution, as has happened 7 times since the beginning of the war. Nevertheless, Republican Cassidy's refusal to participate resulted in the adoption of the resolution becoming yet another sign of growing Republican resistance to Trump's actions regarding the conflict and his refusal to engage with Congress on this issue. For several months now, Democrats have argued that passing such a measure would send Trump a signal that public opinion about this operation has significantly worsened. It was expected that the House of Representatives would vote on similar legislation, a bill, in the coming days. Last week, lawmakers in this chamber narrowly rejected a War Powers resolution, with the vote ending in a tie, after 2 Republicans, frustrated that the president ignored the legally mandated deadline to obtain congressional authorization to continue military action after 60 days, simply sided with the Democrats to advance the bill. That is, the trend is that both in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, there are gradually more Republicans who are siding with the Democrats on the issue of the war against Iran. And here it is becoming increasingly difficult for Donald Trump to convince Americans that the war is necessary. He says, yes, everyone thinks it's unpopular, but I'm sure it's popular. It's getting harder and harder to promote this idea. As of today, the average price of gasoline in all 50 states of the United States exceeds $4 per gallon. And in 7 states, it has already exceeded $5 per gallon. The average price of gasoline across the country is now $4.56 per gallon. That is $4.56. California has recorded the highest gasoline price at $6.15 per gallon. And in Georgia, the lowest price is $4.01 per gallon. So in any case, it's already above $4 everywhere. And here you need to understand some truly astonishing statistics. The average price of a gallon of gasoline across the entire United States has increased by 53 cents since the start of this war. And there are signs that the situation could get significantly worse. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. If you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, you can do so financially with any donation using the links and details in the description of this video, or by using the QR code on your screens. And let me remind you, subscribe to my Ukrainian language YouTube channel as well. The link is also in the description of this video. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.